Okay, so we're going to go ahead and look at one final example. I wanted to show you another example that would require the use of table F. And also to show you an example where the actual data is given to you and you are responsible for calculating your mean and your standard deviation. If you haven't watched the previous presentation tells you how to use your calculator to find the mean and the standard deviation for a problem when the data is given. So I'm going to pick up there. I'm going to show you the problem. It says the data represents a sample of the number of home fires started by candles for the past several years. Find the 99% confidence interval for the mean number of home fires started by candles each year. So I'm going to begin by writing down the information that we found on the calculator from the previous presentation. So we found the mean of the sample to be 7,041, and we're rounding to 2 decimal places, so 0.43. And we found the standard deviation of that sample to be 1610.27. Now, as far as other information that we need, remember that we need the n value, which is the number of values in the sample. So we can count these very easily and quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. And we're also going to need our t-value. And I know that it's a t-value because remember that if we have the s, that we have to use a t-value with it. Okay, so I'm going to go to my table. Remember that we're doing 99% confidence and we have 7 data values. Okay, so I'm going to back up to my table for just a second. If I have 7 data values, then remember that we're going to be looking at 6 right here, because the DF is the sample size minus 1. So your DF is going to be 7 minus 1, which would give us the 6. And then across the top, we're going to look for the column that has as its header 99% confidence. Now, on this screenshot of the table, I don't have that column, so I'm going to let you get your own table and look up that value. So the 99% will be the last column on the table, and we're going to use the 6. And so if you're looking at that, you should be at 3.707. For your t-value. Now, once you have all 4 of those pieces of information noted, you're ready to plug into the formula. I am just going to write the formula out across the top up here. Remember that your x bar goes first. And then we're going to subtract our t-score, our standard deviation, divided by our square root of our sample size. And we do exactly the same calculation on the other side, except that we put a plus instead of a minus. And then at that point, we are ready to plug into our calculator. And we're going to round that final answer to 2 decimal places. So on the left-hand side, we're going to have 4785. 0.26. And on the right hand side, 9297.60. And so again, we know that the mean of the sample was 7,041, and now we know that that was the average for these 7. Now we know that for all, the average is going to fall in between these two values.